This is so sketchy how I have my phone set up right now, but whatever. Hey guys, I wanted to do a video talking about After Parties stories by Anthony Veasna. So I wasn't going to initially do like a solo video about just this collection, but then for some reason I decided to go to the Goodreads comment. Sorry, I'm trying to like pull it up on my computer so that I can respond to some things directly because I'm like offended by some of these comments. So I've never really done this before. I feel like some people do, like, you know, looking at 5-star reviews of my least favorite books or looking at 1-star reviews of my favorite books. And I really don't do that. I haven't done that. It is the equivalent of looking at the comment section of, you know, an Instagram video, but I don't, because like, I don't really care. Everyone reads books the way they want to, blah, 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 whatever. Also, the new way that Goodreads has changed their like reading challenge is really irritating me. But that is not the point. The point is that I usually only go into the comment section if I'm on the fence about finishing a book or DNFing a book, and I want to see what people who liked and did not like the book had to say about it, to see if I see any similarities on either side. So yeah, I'm extremely offended. Let me find the review. So first of all, this is a short story collection by a Cambodian American man who died. He died tragically young. He was born in 92 and he died in 2020. So that means that he was only, oh, that must be 28, not 18. I can't do math anymore. 28. He was 28 years old when he passed, which is so sad. I didn't look up. I think it was an accident. I feel like I've looked up how he passed, and I just cannot remember right now, but that is not like really the relevant part of the story. The point is that he's a Cambodian American writing short stories, and it's his first like big piece of published fiction. His stories have appeared in the New Yorker, Paris Review, N+1, Granta, and Zizova. So like he's been published. His stories have been published, but I think this is for his first like actual book. And I mean, in general, I feel like an author's first book is really personal and usually something that they've been working on for a long time, so and so, etc. So basically, like, he is in this book so much. And the book is absolutely phenomenal. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads. It's a 4.5 because it's not, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what I give 5 stars to anymore, like a true 5-star to. But yeah, some of these reviews are wild behavior and I'm trying to find it. So basically every single short story is from the perspective of a Cambodian American person. Most of them are from a character who is very similar to Anthony, so I'm going to assume there's a lot of autofiction in this book because, again, first published work, first collection, you know, people draw on their own life experiences to write stories. Typically, obviously, like if you're writing, you know, sci-fi, blah, blah, whatever. But in general, you write from your own lived experience and you find, you know, inspiration in everyday things. So again, most of these stories are from a young Cambodian American male who is gay. Like that's most of the stories. There are a few from women. The last 2 actually are specifically from a woman's perspective, and both of them made me cry, like hysterically, basically. I don't even want to think about them again because I'm going to start crying. The one, Somali Sari is from the perspective of a woman who is basically like a nurse in a nursing home. And so she's taking care of the elderly who are, you know, basically put into these homes because people don't want to take care of their family members. And she's one of the people that ends up being there is actually her aunt. And so it's this whole thing where like her aunt, when she was born, her name is Siri, when she was born, her aunt said that she's the reincarnation of Somali or something like that, who was one of her daughters, I think. I can't remember because, you know, people call people aunts in different cultures that are not actually literally their aunts. I mean, I guess like I do that too, but in general, I can't remember like what the exact lineage is, but it's our main character, there's a generation, and then there's the generation of this woman, so maybe like a great aunt. And so the relationship between them, and then her cousin, the relationship between the cousin, and like looking back at, you know, basically the people of Cambodia, like, I mean, there's a lot of horrible things that happen to a lot of people, but you know, it's very difficult, and it's so sad, like what has happened to people. I don't know a lot about it, but you can feel the generational trauma in these stories, and like it's just it's so good. Like I honestly, it's so good. And the last one, generational differences, is like specifically, I think, I'm pretty sure it's from a mom's perspective, telling her, her young son is like wondering why. She has a picture of Michael Jackson with her kids, because she's a teacher, and her son is asking why, and she said because there was a shooting at that school. So basically it's a situation where there's a mass shooting at her school because of like racism and xenophobia. So someone like targeted the school, I think because they had a large Cambodian population, and so then the little boy is like really upset by this, and he wants to go to the mom's school with her to like assess it, to make sure that she's safe. And then it just like, it's just so good. Like all of these stories are so good. The first one, the Three Women of Chuck's Donuts, I don't actually remember that story very well, but I just remember because I started this like so long ago, it takes me so long to read things. I just remember being so blown away by that story, and like being like, I'm obsessed with this author, and then finding out that he's dead, unfortunately. So there's I mean, obviously that's not the worst part of him dying, but like, you know, that it is disappointing that I don't think there's much else that I can read of his. But yeah, all of these books or all of these stories are so good. There's The Shop, and I think maybe The Shop one specifically, but you know, it's his dad is, you know, running an auto shop, and so like trying to keep it afloat, and he's giving jobs to all these young Cambodian men because, you know, they need work, but it's like really hurting the business because he's not getting enough money, and like they're like slacking off, and it's causing problems for his business. They're just, every single story is so good. And while I agree that they're all from the perspective of Cambodian Americans, it's for a reason. And I'm sorry I'm getting so heated, but like, let me, This is a quote. "This simply wasn't it. I was confused through it all. Too many overlapping storylines. Didn't really understand the underlying message it was trying to portray. It overdid the immigrant child in America storyline. Like, I understand it was a significant part of each character's background, but at some points it just seemed like they were throwing it in just to show it, and as a reminder, rather than having it be an explanation to events/certain feelings." When I read that, I was like, I need to talk about this book in its own video, because like that review is so offensive to me. Like, me personally, I'm offended by that review. It overdid the immigrant child in America storyline. Like, are you actually kidding me? I feel like I'm not usually as emotional as, maybe that's a lie. I'm always emotional. Let's be honest. But yeah, I don't know what that person's problem is. I don't know what kind of books they like to read. But I think they have bad taste. I usually, again, I don't care. I don't care what people read. Like, that's them. It has nothing to do with me. But to say that this book overdid the immigrant child in America storyline, is it a storyline? It's someone's lived experience. Like, I literally don't understand. So anyways, I would highly recommend this book. Short stories are always something great. I feel like some people don't actually like short stories, maybe. But I think having a short story collection on the go is nice, because you don't like have to finish something huge. Like, you can read a couple stories this year and a few stories next year if you want. Like, it's not something that lingers on your like currently reading like shelf the same way a proper novel does, because you've completed a thing even though it's within a collection. So I love short stories. I actually almost think I prefer a short story to a regular sized novel, because if you can if you can affect me so much emotionally with 20 pages, like, I mean, do I need to say anything else? Like, that means that you are brilliant. Like, you're so brilliant. So yeah, I just thought this was so good. High recommend. Please go pick it up and read it. I mean, it was on the 100 notable books for the New York Times, which to me doesn't really mean a whole lot because, you know, sometimes our tastes match and sometimes they don't. But if you trust the New York Times more than you trust me, it was a notable book of 2021. And yeah, anyways, I hope you give it a chance. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.